Real quick before we jump into this episode of Trash Classics, I just wanted you guys to know that I have officially decided to jump on the bandwagon. Thanks to a surprising amount of your suggestions, I now have a Patreon page. Those of you that feel like my work here is worth your support, feel free to go check it out at patreon.com/Avalanche Reviews or clicking the link in the description. Those of you who can't or aren't comfortable with contributing, don't worry, my content is going to stay free, and if anything, will hopefully get better from now on. I really can't thank all of you enough for getting me past the 5,000 subscriber mark and backing me up every step of the way. I may have said this a million times, and I'm probably going to say it a million more times in the future, but you guys are absolutely the reason why I do this. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into our regularly scheduled review. Well guys, I thought we were finished. I thought our days of artifact hunting and exploration were behind us. But it seems like Destiny is once again drawing us into that radioactive no man's land, that little piece of hell on earth we like to call the zone. Make sure you're prepared because a lot has changed in our absence. This won't exactly be a walk in the park, but as long as you remember the one true law of the zone, you'll be fine. Survive at all costs. I'm Jared, and this is Trash Classics. Okay, so you're probably wondering why I'm making another Stalker video when I've covered all 3 games already. Well, as it turns out, there's a new Stalker experience out there, and while it may not be an official sequel to the Stalker games, it is the closest we're likely to get for a long while. And now that I have your attention, if you haven't seen my coverage of this incredible series of games, go ahead and click here to catch yourself up. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. Last year, the Call of Chernobyl mod was officially released, creating what is, in my opinion, the most complete Stalker experience you can have. But before I go giving my opinion on things, I should probably tell you exactly what this mod is. Call of Chernobyl is kind of a mega mod that includes the best mechanics, weapons, and elements found in all 3 Stalker games and combines them with huge improvements or balances to the game's AI, weather systems, economy, and even tweaks to the X-ray engine itself. But the biggest cherry on the cake is the fact that the game is essentially a giant Stalker sandbox. A huge culmination of everything the original Stalker games had to offer rolled up into one gigantic, possibly endless bundle. And since the additions are so numerous, we would be here for a week discussing them. Let's dive into what makes c.o.c. great and what makes it such a quintessential Stalker experience. First off the bat, the game has been optimized greatly. As someone who's pretty damn familiar with the vanilla Call of Pripyat game, this mod definitely taxes my aging gaming PC way less than its forefathers. As far as balance goes, there have been a number of improvements that make the game a much more brutal ass-kicking, but also some additions that make it easier to sidestep some of the added difficulty. For example, the behavior of mutants have been altered, and the really dangerous ones rarely come out during the day, so an unskilled Stalker can sleep through the night and only travel when it's safe. Safe, of course, being a relative term here. There's now some light character creation before a new game is started, and not only can you pick your starting location, but you can also choose to join one of the zone's many factions. I chose to ally with the s.t.a.l.k.e.r in this playthrough because they're kind of my second favorite faction, and the amount that this affects how you play the game is crazy. Every group has their own friends or enemies, and if you're looking to really switch things up, this is the way to do it. Most Stalker fans are used to starting out as a loner and making their way to a friendly settlement like Corden or Rostock, but choosing a faction like Monolith or the military turns this practice on its head. Almost every area you can think of is now populated with people who hate your guts, and you're more likely to have a gunfight than you are to find a trader or a place to sleep. Now this would be kind of unfair depending on your starting alliances, but c.o.c. also allows you to join up with people within your own faction. So if you're in a hostile area and you see a friendly squad, you can convince them to follow you. Now I can't lie, these guys in large numbers can really get in the way when exploring tight areas, but there's no cooler sight than an 8-on-8 shootout in a radioactive wasteland. Another cool little addition is the radio chatter you can pick up on. Anytime something significant happens, you're likely to pick up some kind of information about it if you're in the same area. So if a group of bandits start fighting it out with a squad you're friendly with, you can come to their aid, or maybe wait till it's over and scavenge the losers. This nifty little feature was great in the beginning of the game because I would typically know when firefights or strong mutants were around. Additions like this, coupled with area-specific weather effects, new emission types, NPC behavior tweaks, and the literal shit ton of new areas, makes it easy to suspend your disbelief and put yourself in your character's shoes. The zone feels more alive than ever, and that's why I decided to cover this mod, because it feels like the Stalker game GSC Game World would have given us if they could have. Every addition and new area feels like it fits right in with the spirit of the series, and while I'm not going to make a habit out of covering mods for this game, I couldn't help myself here. This is a mod that every Stalker fan should be playing no matter what. If you've enjoyed even the smallest part of any specific Stalker game, there's a good chance that Call of Chernobyl has implemented it. Unless the part you enjoyed was the story mode, because that is unfortunately absent here. And while I would have enjoyed a new story to play through, I can understand the mod's creators not wanting to walk into that beehive. The lore of the zone is a delicate thing, and I'm glad these guys didn't make some kind of fan fiction for us. All things considered, this is probably the best thing to happen to the series since the release of the last official game. Those of us who enjoy the visceral feeling of being immersed in this strange world should count our lucky stars that the modding community is so dedicated to these titles. Without a doubt, this mod gets my highest possible recommendation, but there is some bad news. Now that we've once again survived the radioactive horrors of the zone, I'm afraid it's time to leave. We're running low on food, ammo, and artifacts, and it's not clear if we'll ever be able to come back, but at least we learned one vital fact. Stalker Call of Chernobyl is without a doubt a trashed classic. Thanks for watching, Stalkers. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. If you love the Stalker games as much as I do, then click here to check out my reviews of each game in the series. And if you love me as much as I do, maybe check out my Patreon page to throw a little support my way. Or just click the like button. Or do all three.